Hello, what is going on guys? Darksmile here. This is going to be my largest video ever. Basically it's all the bosses in Cuphead from easiest to hardest, with 25 being the easiest and 1 being the hardest. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Thank you. Alright, for number 25, we have Legron. I find this guy to be the easiest because he doesn't have that many attacks, and I wouldn't necessarily call him boring, but he definitely does not have that many attacks, and he's not like very diverse. So compared to the others, he's definitely the easiest boss in the game. Next up, we have the Root Pack, and these guys are tougher on expert, obviously tougher than Goopy Legron because they're 24 and Goopy Legron is 25, but they're still not very diverse with attacks, and they don't seem to have like any like minions, and just an incredibly simple fight when you get like extremely used to it. You can honestly do it like 10 times out of 10 successfully when you get used to it. This one is actually like kind of gets harder, but it's still kind of in the zone of easy. You see, there's some phases that have a wide range of attacks, and some phases that don't. So this one is kind of tougher, but essentially it's still third easiest boss. And if you guys watched my top 5 easiest bosses, you already have seen this one and know what's going to happen next. Number 22, we have Rumor Honeybottoms. Yeah, this one is a shocking one, but if you guys watch my top 5 easiest bosses, I mean, you've already went through the shocker. I just don't find her to be that hard. I find her to be harder on regular. I feel like she's greatly nerfed on expert, just like Dr. Kyle's robot in certain cases. But yeah, we'll talk about that guy later. Yeah, I don't really think that the B is that, challenging, to be honest. It might like seem as flex, but I'm not actually flexing. It's just, you know, I just don't really think she's bad. If you guys have watched any of my videos that have Calgary in them, you'll quickly know that I love this character. He's one of the coolest bosses, but on expert, this guy is really tough. Like, we might be like, whoa, why is he ranked 21 then? Just everyone is harder than him, it only gets worse, but that doesn't necessarily mean this guy's like a piece of cake. His first phase can actually be extremely annoying, but it actually totally comes down to how good you are at parrying, and how much patience you have, and yeah, just spam the roundabout. You'll quickly go through this phase. So yeah, that's why Cagney's actually tougher than all the other ones before them. Yeah, hope you guys are enjoying so far. Now we have officially hit number 20 with Baroness Von Bonbon. I find her to be actually pretty tough depending on the minions, obviously, which is kind of why she's only 20 and not higher on the list. Yeah, I feel like depending on the minions, you can actually have like pretty easy game or like hell. So most of the time you don't usually get like the terrible ones, so that's why she's only ranked like this. For number 19, we have Beppy the Clown. This guy is actually hard. Like, this is where it kind of gets in the hard section. Like if I had the choice, I would not fight this guy. Well, obviously, yeah, I have the choice. But yeah, like this guy is annoying, and that's because not his first phase, his second phase and third phase are hell, and the last one lasts an eternity. So that's why this guy gets like a ranking like of this high, but yeah, I still don't really think he's that bad. Next up we have Werner Verman, or Werner Verman, whatever you want to say. Basically it's a German rat, and yeah, this guy can get pretty tough on expert, but I actually find him to be not too bad. I mean, the second phase where it gets extremely hard, which is why it beats Peppy in terms of ranking, but overall, the first phase is not like the most terrible thing. The last phase is kind of manageable if you have lots of HP. So yeah, that's why this guy is number 18. The Phantom Express is next. This is basically the name is not Phantom Express. It is 4 different like monster things that you have to fight, and they all have different like mechanics. With the mechanic of that weird like pink brick falling, that like moves your little platform, which makes this boss tougher than all the ones before it. But essentially, if you're on roundabout, the first phase is literally nothing, and the second phase is not too bad, and the third phase is not that bad either, and the fourth phase is the worst one, but at the same time you just need a weapon that aims for you and it won't be the worst thing. For number 16 we have Dr. Kyle's robot. Now I know, yeah, some people have mixed opinions. Some people think he's one of the easiest bosses in the game, especially on expert where he's completely nerfed, and others think he's extremely hard. I don't really think he's hard at all, except for the last phase. I don't see it as the easiest thing in the world, but it definitely isn't the worst thing either. Obviously, what I'm trying to say is that it keeps getting worse. So if you guys see somebody at this point, don't really see them as a hard boss. See them as a challenging boss, but not necessarily like one that's gonna take you too long. Hey guys, it is the first DLC boss, number 15. So there's around, I believe, 6 bosses, yeah, that I'm ranking because those are the ones that can be played on expert. And this is the first one, so we'll see how well the DLC bosses do on this list. Yeah, this guy, he's not really that bad. Like, he's terrible for a boss, but he's not that bad for a DLC. Yeah, but the last phase is not that bad. The first phase is also not that bad, but the second phase is a killer, bro. So good luck on that. Um, this is this is one of my favorite bosses in the DLC. He's either my second or my favorite. Uh, I love the gameplay. And the first phase not that likable. To be honest, I feel like there's not that much things going on. But the second phase is like one of the best phases I've ever seen in this game. Like it is just so good. Yeah, it's not really good stuff for the DLC bosses though. Like, come on, 2 bosses from the DLC already, and it's still number 14. So yeah, we'll see how well they do. Arguably my favorite music, in, like boss music. Esther and Chester is one of the greatest like bosses I've ever seen. Like it's so chaotic, it's enjoyable, it's just the music is great, everything fits perfectly. I feel like it's just such a good boss. Um, it's obviously hard on expert, but I actually beat it like second try when I played on expert, so it's obviously one of the weaker ones of the DLC bosses. But since I could beat all the other bosses previously like faster than this one obviously harder. But yeah, this one actually still doesn't really fit in the category of like extremely hard. Like it might look extremely hard, but it really isn't. Okay, so this is probably the most shocking thing so far. I'm ranking Grim Matchstick as the 12th hardest boss, and many people see that as, hey, he's harder than 13 other bosses, and others see he's only harder than 13 other bosses. But like I see this guy an extremely like difficult boss. Like boom, we're in the section where it's hard bosses now. But at the same time, the second phase isn't too bad, and the first phase is also not too bad. Together, they're kind of bad, but the last phase is really the only challenge of this fight, and yeah, that's why this boss is only number 12. And yeah, some bosses after this one will shock you, because you might be like, hey, I struggled more on Grim Matchstick, but this is my opinion, so I don't care. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Cara Maria is actually harder than Grim Matchstick. In my opinion, yes. I don't really like this boss. This is because it's luck based. Um, Really, the first phase is all attacks that like happen at the same time, and if you get a mix of 2 attacks that are really bad together, boom, you're unlucky. in the second phase, if you get hit by freaking, if you get frozen at the wrong time and get hit by the eel things, boom, you're unlucky. In the last phase, if you again get frozen at the wrong time, boom, you're unlucky. It's all about luck in this boss, and I actually despise it, but you know, just because it's mainly luck and hardly dodging, I don't really get to win this boss that many times. So that's why this boss is ranked number 11, and we're almost at the top 10, guys. Like, this is where it actually gets hard. So yeah, starting off our top 10 with Hildeberg. This is definitely not who you expected, and you might be like, whoa, this is an Inkwell Isle 1 boss, and it's actually in his top 10. On expert, this boss is honestly like so hard, bro. Like, I can't actually say it's the hardest boss in Inkwell Isle 1. You guys will see why. But I can say that it's like so dang hard, and everything is chaotic and everything is fast, and some things like this phase are luck based. The phase I'm talking about was the Gemini one. So yeah, this boss is hard. Another shocker. I was actually debating whether I should rank this as one of the easiest bosses in the game until I tried expert mode. I saw this guy as an extremely easy boss on regular, and then when I played him on expert, dude, it took me so long. Like, everything becomes crazy, and this is one of the only bosses that I can say is bullet hell on like when it's not a plain boss. You know, plain bosses are usually ones that are bullet hells, but this one doesn't even need to be a bullet hell to be. I mean, this one doesn't even need to be a plain boss to be a bullet hell. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, guys, this is literally the point where I don't want to fight these guys. I'm actually like, I do anything not to fight these bosses. Like, there's 8 more bosses, and they only get worse. This one is terrible, absolutely terrible. Like, you have like, there's so much going on, and if you actually somehow get through the first phase without getting hit, just know you'll most likely get hit in the second phase. And if you don't get hit in the second phase, 100% you will in the last phase. It's absolutely insane. Like, it gets harder and harder. Like, the more you go, which is actually bad because you usually like have a small amount of HP. The more, the longer you survive for. So if it gets harder, it's gonna just be even worse. Like, this boss is absolute hell, and I hate him so much. Hey, it's the freaking devil, the final boss of the base game. This guy is extremely difficult. Like, I'm talking hellish, especially like when I took a break from Cuphead for a bit. You guys know that. I got worse, bro. Like, I cannot beat this guy now. Like, it's just like so hard now. Yeah, this guy is absolutely crazy, and yeah, like, I hope that they nerf him because the devil is like undefeated. Another boss I completely love in the DLC, but another pain, another like death, bro. Like, I only die from this boss. I don't think I've actually beaten it yet. Like, it's so hard. Obviously, the first and second phase are cake, but this is one of the only bosses where it can get ranked simply because of the last phase. Like, if we could literally rank it as number 6 just because of the last phase's difficulty. Like, first of all, the last phase is like 2 times longer than on regular, and it's 2 times harder. Like, it already took me quite a while to defeat him on regular. It's gonna take me twice that amount of time to beat him on expert. Like, this boss is painful. Ribby and Croaks. Yeah, I wasn't gonna spoil it, guys. Hildeberg is the second hardest Inkwell Isle 1 boss, but Ribby and Croaks are number 1. Like, you guys must have noticed it, you know. Hey, where's Ribby and Croaks? Yeah, number 5, bro. Like, this boss, first phase is tough because they team up on you. But at the same time, it's not like the worst thing. The second phase is also bad because they team up on you, but again, it's not the worst thing. However, the last phase is also just like the last boss, the Howling Aces. The last phase is what really decides the ranking for this boss. It is absolutely insane. This is one of the most crazy bosses I've ever faced in my life. This genie is just a definition of pain. Um, I never really thought it was that bad because I thought people overreacted when they called him hard on expert. I found it to be an extremely easy boss. It was actually the boss that took me the least amount of tries to beat when I first played Inkwell Isle 2. But on expert, this guy has changed my mind. He is the fourth hardest boss in this whole entire game. Yes, I know. He's a genie, but he's OP. Chef Saltbaker, the final boss, and also the final DLC boss on this list. Yeah, I know, the DLC bosses did not get number 1. The base game has harder bosses. But the final boss, he packs a punch, dude. On expert, this guy gets the number 1 ranking for most projectiles in your face while playing. Like, look at this. What is this? What am I seeing right now? Yeah, this boss is easily one of the craziest ones in the whole entire game, which is why I guess number 3rd. But I can't really give it more than that because I feel like if you actually dedicate some time, it won't really take you more than an hour. But this boss obviously is going down in one of the, in history as one of the greatest bosses of all time in this game. Here's a real high-class bout. And begin. I find this guy to be extremely challenging. King Dice, I found him to be hard because of how quickly the dice is, how quick the dice is, and how hard it is to friggin' kill him. And another thing I found extremely tough was how crazy the guy is. Like the guy himself is not hard, but the fact that you have to go through all the bosses just to get to him is hard because all the bosses are tougher obviously than on regular, and all of them are longer, and all of them are just crazy, bro. Like I can't believe you actually have a chance of fighting a freaking monkey that lasts 2.5 minutes if you accidentally mess something up. Like imagine trying to S rank and accidentally getting that when you were so close to the S rank. Like this boss is easily one of the hardest, craziest, most obnoxious bosses I've ever seen in any game ever. But it's actually crazy to me that King Dice is not number 1 and he is number 2 because there's one boss. Hint: it's a plain boss. You can pause the video and try to calculate what boss has not been shown yet, and maybe there you'll find it. Yeah, the number 1 boss in Cuphead is well, I actually may have hinted at this already. First of all, me saying that this was a plain boss already probably gave it away. But if you guys have seen any of my other videos that have Wally Warbles in it, like the top 5 hardest Cuphead phases, or just like I can't really name them on the spot, but any video that's had this guy in it, you guys can probably tell, especially the difficulty comparison video I made about him. You guys can probably tell that this was the hardest boss to me in the whole game. The first phase is like already hell. It's already so hard to dodge. I'd say it's actually tougher to go without a hit or two than going without a hit or two in Esther Winchester's first phase. And both of them are plain bosses, and all of them are both extremely tough. The second phase is fine. The third phase is really stressful, but at the same time, it's not like the worst thing. But the fourth phase and the first phase are both so tough that just give this boss the number 1 ranking out of any boss. Like I remember trying to film a video with this guy, and even though I was still it wasn't my first time fighting Wally Warbles, I was still I was used to him and all, but it still took me over an hour to defeat him, even though I was very, very, very aware and very I knew how to beat him. Like I was very aware on how to beat him. I knew all his tricks, everything like that. And it still took an hour just to beat him. Like this boss is obviously like astonishing how they transformed a boss that was fine on regular to monstrous on expert. But yeah, with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys had fun, stuff like that. And yeah, this is my opinion, just in case you guys couldn't tell. Um, I just kind of took interest, inspiration from other videos that were like this, because I have some opinions of my own that I felt were quite different. However, I do see a lot of people saying that Wally Warbles is their favorite boss. I mean, is their hardest boss too. So, but yeah, I do feel like this is kind of unique. The whole video overall, waiting. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.